on your computer, on your smartphone, on your Wi-Fi radio. We're localwebradio.fm.
Do you need a break? How about a little adventure? British Columbia offers breathtaking scenery, endless outdoor activities, and it's all right here in our own backyard. Welcome to the BC Adventure Show, brought to you by DiscoverySeaTours.ca. And now, your host.
Perfect day. The sky will be blue. Sun is yellow by the way.
Hi, I'm your host, Kimberly Henry, and I'm here with Peter Stolting from Discovery Sea Tours. And today we'll be talking with Peter about being a tourist in your own backyard. Now, before Peter joins us, just a reminder, if you have questions, comments, or would like to share your latest BC adventure with us, visit us at facebook.com/mybcadventures. Peter, welcome. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, Kimberly. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to hear what you have to talk about. You know, so many of us live in beautiful places, and people, come up from all over the world to visit what we have in our own backyard, but we don't always often take advantage of it. So I'm excited to hear, what that means from your perspective. What great things do people come all over the world for in your area, the Lower Mainland, that residents maybe often overlook?
Well, Vancouver is just an absolutely beautiful city. It's just, there's just so much to do here. I mean, a lot of people remember Vancouver from the Olympics, so a lot of people have seen it. Like on a day like early spring right now, you can go sailing in the morning in English Bay, which is right off Vancouver. You can, in the afternoon, then you can go up to Grouse Mountain and go skiing, or Cypress, where the Olympics actually were. And, that's just a few of the things. Whistler is a 2-hour drive. White Rock, where I base the whale watching and sightseeing tours out of, is only an hour from Vancouver. So there's winery tours, there's Capilano Suspension Bridge, there's a lot to do, and just the scenery is just gorgeous here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I hear about the Gulf Islands. Can you tell me a little bit about the Gulf Islands?
The Gulf Islands are a jewel that most locals don't even know about. A lot of them only know the Gulf Islands as a group of islands in between the mainland Vancouver and Vancouver Island. Vancouver Island is an hour-and-a-half ferry ride from Vancouver, basically. And, halfway through, you'll cross the Gulf of Georgia, which is about a 45-minute crossing of somewhat open water. And then you go through the Gulf Islands. And people don't even notice it. You go through Active Pass, which is very narrow, and these huge ferries go back and forth through there. And the scenery is absolutely beautiful. And then you end up in Shorts Bay, which is on Vancouver Island, and that's it. That's all the exposure people get to the Gulf Islands. So there's these beautiful islands right in between, and they're even a different climate. Some of them are classed as a southern Mediterranean climate just because they're in this large rain shadow. It's very protected in there from Vancouver Island. So it's just this group of islands. They're all a decent size. Saturn Island, where my boat is based in the summertime for some time, there's only 300 residents there, but it's a huge island and half a park. And then there's Salt Spring, which is about the same size, and it's got about 2,000 residents, and it's got everything you need. So there's Pender Island, which is somewhat in between there. There's resorts there, and there's just a million things to do, and it's beautiful. There's sandstone along the shorelines. They call them sandstone cathedrals sometimes, and there's always wildlife. There's sea lions over there. There's seal haul-outs. There's just everything over there. There's eagles all over the place. And then there's the star of the show, which is the resident orca. We've got 45 resident orca that cruise through the Gulf Islands all summer long. Wow.
And so is this something you take a ferry out, or what's the best way to experience the Gulf Islands?
There's several ways. There is ferry service to the Gulf Islands from Vancouver, so you can stay at, there's not too many hotels. There's a big resort on Pender Island, and there's B&Bs over there. So it's quite an easy weekend trip there. It's a great weekend trip. basically it costs you the same amount of money to get there as it does to get to a place called around Kelowna, that's in the Okanagan Lake, which is just out of Vancouver. It's about a 4 or 5 hour drive. So, if you want to spend your money wisely, you can sit on the ferry and enjoy the scenery, and within a couple hours you're in this paradise. Or you can put a tank of gas in your car, drive for 5 or 6 hours to a beautiful Okanagan Lake, which is it's like a summer resort. It's this huge lake, and there's just it's water skiing and all that good stuff. So that's where people would generally go if they're going to go somewhere out of Vancouver, or Whistler, like I said earlier, which is just 2 hours up the road.
Wow, fantastic. Now you offer, through your company, Discovery Sea Tours, you offer group tours, or are they private tours, public tours?
It's a bit of both, Kimberly. The group tours are nice because I can take a group at whatever time they want out of White Rock, and we head across the Gulf of Georgia like the ferries do, and then we're in the Gulf Islands. And then it's basically whatever the group wants. If the group wants to go whale watching, I'm in contact with 40 other boats, and we usually know exactly where they are, and we can take you directly there. Sometimes we don't know where they are, so we go looking for them. Other times they've disappeared for a day or two, and they're on the west coast of Vancouver Island where no boats get them. So the whole whale watching industry, there's 40 boats out there, and none of them will see whales on one particular day, for example. But usually everyone advertises 80 or 90% sighting. But what I offer is a little different, because the group wants whale watching. We do our darndest to get there. But we also can stop at neat places, like in the Gulf Islands. There's the winery on Saturn Island, for example. Can tie up at their private dock. We can go up to 10-minute walk through the vineyard, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it's like we said, it's right in people's backyard. So we can just cruise up and down the shorelines, check out all the neat spots, all the sandstone sculptures, and shipwreck that we stopped by. And there's just a multitude of things to do. There's a little cafe right on the water where you can stop for lunch. Some people, they know the term Salt Spring Island, which is a lot of action there. So if you want a choice of restaurants, we can go there. And there's just, the choices are endless, basically.
So is there shopping to be done, like gift shops and things like that? Is it sort of a touristy day trip, or is it more of a nature trip?
Either way, the Salt Spring Island that I was just talking about, if people want the shopping experience, there's a native art gallery, there's a pottery place, it's just a really, really cool little town right on the water. About 4 or 5 different restaurants you could choose from for a nice lunch break. So that would be, if you're into that sort of thing, then that's where we'll go. If you're into nature, then we do the whole tour around where the just so much scenery to see. There's just endless amounts of beautiful scenery and nature. Eagles flying, little coves that we go into, and it's just an amazing tour around the islands. And I've been doing this long enough. I know all the cool spots, so no one.
I bet.
A combination of the both, or just Salt Spring, or the winery and nature, and a lunch stop. It's basically whatever the group wants. Now, if it's just say 1 or 2 or 3 people that want to go whale watching, then we just kind of go whale watching, and we just, that's your tradition. Most people are familiar with that term, so I offer that as well. But I really like the group. Get them together, find out what the group wants, and then we'll go.
Sounds like there's so much to choose from that there is actually sort of something for everyone in the Gulf Islands, and actually on your tours as well. It sounds like you're very accommodating. That's fantastic. And I imagine, you talked about seals and sea lions and stuff like that. I imagine there's a ton of, birds in that area.
Yeah, I've actually even done one fella, he just wanted to see, they're called oyster shuckers, and they're these little black birds with little bills, and he just wanted to see them. So I said, yeah, I know where there's oyster shuckers, and oyster catchers, actually, is their official term, but I call them oyster shuckers. So they're little black birds, and they're very hard to find, but I know where they are, so he wanted to take pictures of oyster catchers. So that's where we went, and that was his tour. He brought his friends along, and his friends had a great time, and he had a great time taking pictures of oyster catchers. But, there's just birds everywhere. The whole place is just alive. The eagles up in the trees. I mean, there's stories I can tell about eagles. I mean, one got stranded and they brought it back, and the mate was waiting up in its tree for it to return. And it was just really cool animals out there.
Wow, fantastic. So, Peter, if someone wants to get a guided tour of their own backyard from someone such as yourself, how is the best way to get in touch with you?
Just go to discoveryseatours.ca, and there's a form there, and then just fill out the form and just say what kind of tour you're interested in, and we'll get back to you usually within the next day at the latest, but probably the same day. And then, we can talk on the phone, or we can just talk by emails. We can set up exactly what kind of tour you want.
Okay. discoveryseatours.ca is that website. Fantastic. And I'll just reiterate, there's also a Facebook page that you can go to kind of keep in touch with Peter and see what's going on. And that is facebook.com/mybcadventures. facebook.com/mybcadventures. And I'm a Facebook girl. I'm always on there seeing what's new with the businesses and the people that I'm paying attention to. So I encourage you to go check that out. Peter, it's been a pleasure talking with you this day. And is there anything else that we should know about as far as touristing in the Gulf Islands or the Lower Mainland?
Several ways to do it. Like I say, you can hop on a ferry and stay over on any of the islands. Just look up the Gulf Islands, and there's lots of accommodation, great accommodation over there. And I actually do pick up from the Gulf Islands as well, so I could pick up your group over there, or sometimes if you're just a pair of you, I could fit you in somewhere else with another group as well. So I do also serve the Gulf Islands as well as coming out of White Rock.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Well, again, thank you so much for your time today, Peter.
Thanks for listening. To join our discussion and to share your latest British Columbia adventure, visit us at facebook.com/mybcadventures.
I am with my bare feet. Tomorrow will be a perfect day. The sky will be blue, sun is yellow by the way.
Local stories, local voices. We're localwebradio.fm.